Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. There may be a bit of background noise. I've had to open a window, I've had the heating on and it's gone boiling. Right, Taurus, what I'm asking is, this is going to be a bit of a new year reading. So going into 2022, what are you kind of shaking off? What are you letting go of? What are you removing from your life? And what are you making way for as you go into 2022? So what newness are you opening up space for? When I went to light owl, the joystick just burnt me. Ow, what is that? Did somebody get burned? I don't know. As I was lighting my match, it split in half. So, and then the song that you got randomized was 311 Beautiful Disasters, was it? Yeah, because it reminded me of like the Kelly Clarkson song that I really like. Let me just double check my facts here. It's funny I'm saying double check my facts. That's what was going on for, yeah, Beautiful Disaster 311. And it talks about burning bridges or like, so I'm getting this thing about things that were rotten, ready to break, like things that were already, it could be relationships. When you talk about burning bridges, it's like burning relationships. It's like it was time to let that person go anyway. It was time to, you know, this situation had run its course. So something that was ready to breaking, something like that. And then, ow, yeah, I really did get burnt there. A bit of ash fell from the joystick onto my hand and ow. So, what's going on, please, for Taurus? Bat spirit. A rebirth is assured. So yeah, something definitely getting that kind of like death and rebirth energy, right? Something like tower moment, plutonic energy, something breaking, something cracking away, something with foundations that weren't secure anyway. It's like, yeah, you know, it was time for that to go. Make your dreams real on the bottom there. So bat spirit, a rebirth is assured. So tell me more about bat spirit for Taurus. A rebirth is assured, and then I'm getting this kind of like Thumbelina energy from this today. Thumbelina, what was the story of that? So she was a little tiny girl, right? And she was in this flower. She was like so small she could fit in a flower. I'm gonna have to Google Thumbelina. And while I'm doing that though, when you have this kind of like rebirth, whatever that is for you, it could be that when you let go of the old, and you're about to step into the new, sometimes it can be quite overwhelming. Sometimes there can be like a lot of choice, a lot of indecision. Thumbelina. You know, it can be quite confusing, it can be quite daunting when you're coming out of something old and you're stepping into something that's like new and unfamiliar, and you don't know really, you feel a bit like a fish out of water. There's a lot of choices. Could be like dating as well. A lot of the time Seven of Water can talk about dating because, like, you know, sipping from a lot of cups. I'm just gonna have a look at what Thumbelina is. Can I get a general, there we go, Thumbelina Wikipedia. I don't want the film. It's a literary fairy tale written by Danish author Hans Christian Andersen. Thumbelina is about a tiny girl and her adventures with marriage-minded toads, moles, and cockchafers. What's a cockchafer? I'm going down a Wikipedia rabbit hole here. She successfully avoids their intentions before falling in love with a flower fairy prince just her size. Ah. So, this little vulnerable girl, right? And she comes across like toads, moles and cockchafers who want to marry her, but clearly they're not really. Ooh. Okay, so this is a cockchafer. Yeah, don't want to marry one of those. And then eventually falls in love with a flower fairy prince just her size. So yeah, this just sounds a little bit like dating, right? Or perhaps having a history of relationships here where perhaps you're coming out of a relationship, and it doesn't have to be romantic, right? It can be talking metaphorically about work relationships, co-workers, family. It can be a lot of different things. So seeing something about a change in perspective as well. It's kind of giving me like the Hangman card, if you know the Hangman card, and a 5 indicates a change. So some kind of, something ending, some kind of change in perspective, and then looking at your options. But I want to say that you're going to be able to see much more clearly because one is not like the others with this card. So I don't know if you can see this, but there's like 6 fish, and then there's this like cockle shell, or what would it be, clam shell, and of course, excuse me, the pearl is in there. So what I want to say is, like, these fish, it represents the kind of people you know, right? You know what you're getting. Like, you've dated these kind of people before, or you've had these kind of friends before. You know, you kind of, so even if you're kind of meeting somebody new, or you're on a dating profile, it's like, it's the same kind of people, right? It's like, I don't really want to reel in any more fish. You know, you're telling me there's a lot of fish in the sea, but what if all those fish are clownfish, right? What if they're all clowns? And what if I don't want a clownfish? So it's like, yeah, it might be a different clownfish, but it's still a clownfish. It might be a different shark, but it's still a shark. It might be a different eel, but you know, it's just as slippery. So, but here, this is something that's different, and it's something hidden, and I want to say it's intriguing to you. So tell me more for Taurus, please. Tell me more for Taurus, because she does eventually meet a flower prince, right? So you've got 2 birds, and they're both looking forward. Hawk spirit, let spirit be your guide. And nightingale spirit, love is all around. So the hawk spirit to me is having a higher perspective, being able to see the bigger picture. You know, sometimes when you're in the forest, right, when you're in the dating pool, you can't really have a clear perspective. So going up higher and being able to see the whole canopy from above actually gives you a clearer view. So there is something about definitely feeling like overwhelmed, like all these fish are circling. So it's like Thumbelina, you know, with all these suitors kind of being like, back off, you know, like, I need space. Gaining a higher perspective, allowing spirit to give you this change in perspective. And then this nightingale spirit, the numbers may be meaningful as well, 32 and 41 is kind of standing out to me. Nightingale spirit to me, the nightingale sings in the new dawn. It's always darkest before the dawn, so don't give up hope. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling disheartened, if you're feeling that kind of Four of Cups energy of, I've tried it all, I'm giving up, I want to say, don't give up just yet. If you want to get some space, then that's probably a good idea, because I can see that overwhelm. So sometimes you do. Sometimes the Four of Cups energy is to serve us, because it's like, I need to take time out from the situation. I need to kind of like go back and regroup and, you know, have a bit of space to think things through. And it may be that you need that. But then love is literally all around, I can see. And I think that is part of the problem almost. So tell me more about, let's do it like this. Tell me more about Hawk Spirit, let Spirit be your guide, please, for Taurus. Why has it got on its head? Just before I look at whatever this card is, what has it got on its head? It almost looks to me like it's got, my granny used to wear one to protect her hair. You know, she went and got a little perm, like a silk scarf, or like sometimes it's like a plastic rain hat thing that she used to wear. It kind of reminds me of that. So I don't know if you've got somebody who's on the other side who's kind of guiding you, some kind of grandmother spirit, because that's what it's reminding me of. 3, you are being guided out of heartache. So I do feel like people have caused you some emotional pain in the past, with this being the 3 of Swords energy. It could be that, again, this could be talking about one of your spirit guides, one of your ancestors who's on the other side, who you did suffer some pain, you know, some heartache over when this person passed. But I want to say, you know, possibly they're still around. I don't like saying stuff like that, because I feel like it's a little bit, I don't want to play on anyone's emotions like that, but that is what I'm getting from the cards. So take it or leave it. Again, take it with a pinch of salt. I don't want to kind of mess with anyone's emotions. You know, I'm suffering losses in my life as well. I wouldn't want anyone to do that to me. It's just because the scarf reminds me of my grandma. I'm just going to shut the window because that's really noisy. So, yeah. I'm hearing bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover. Whatever's caused you any kind of heart pain or feelings of loss or feelings of hurt in the past, I do see you coming out of it with guidance from spirit, because you're gaining a different perspective on it, because you're gaining, you know, sometimes distance gives you clarity. You know, when you're in it, when you're in those emotions, when you're going through that, a breakdown of a relationship or something that's painful, you know, it can feel very overwhelming because you're in it, you're in the pain. With this being in the reverse, I see this being part of you you know, time progresses, you know, I want to say time doesn't necessarily heal all wounds, but it does give you perspective on it. And I see that happening here, you know, getting a bit of distance, spending a bit of time apart, learning to live without a person, I'm hearing. And yeah, it does give you clarity. You know, you start to see things for what they were, through a intellectual place rather than through an emotional space, I want to say. Nightingale spirit, love is all around for Taurus. So I think this is what you're making room for, right? But again, with that feeling of like dating, I don't necessarily think, I mean, you can go into it and have a lot of fun, right? You can go into like dating, or like, I don't know, making new friends, or going into a new workspace and meeting new co-workers, whatever that is for you. It's like new people being around you. And figuring them out and going out and figuring out who they are, hearing a bit about their stories, working out who is your, you know, who is a Two of Cups or a Six of Cups relationship for you, and who is somebody who's kind of not really meeting you at that level. You know, you can play around with it, you can have a lot of fun with it. So transformation, look at all this transformation energy. A rebirth is assured, transformation. So this is talking about time. Things take time, you know. It's not like ripping off a plaster. Healing is something, emotional healing is something that can take years and years and years. So it's okay to give yourself time if time is what you need. Nightingale spirit, love is all around and transformation. This transformation card does give me this kind of bat, a rebirth is assured energy. It is the death card in this tarot, and it does talk about energy never really goes anywhere. It just transforms into something else. So if you think about a tree, right, a deciduous tree, the leaves fall, and those trees get turned into the mulch that feeds new growth. Normally what's in the universe is always in the universe, right? You can talk about like black, you know, like dark matter and stuff like that, but it's still there. It's just sometimes it's on a different plane, or sometimes it's just not visible at that time. Something like that coming through there. Let me read the book. Let's just be fair here and let the book speak for itself. So it says, nothing remains the same, and I need to accept that life evolves through cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. Now is the time for transition, as things are changing from one form to another. I need to allow this to happen for the highest good. I am called to let go of the old so I can welcome the new. I mean, that's the theme of the whole reading, right? So whatever that is for you, let go of the old and welcome the new. What she's actually holding here is a phoenix. It's like it's almost like a butterfly that was crushed, and then she opens her hands and a phoenix emerges, or a leaf that was crushed and a phoenix emerges. So you will rise from the ashes, I want to say, Taurus. You will live again, metaphorically. And you know, really, when you've suffered a painful ending or a painful loss or heartache, you can feel like death walking sometimes. You can feel like a zombie just kind of going through. This is kind of like going through the paces of life. But you do. Each step you take gives you that emotional distance. Each step you take gives you a clearer perspective. And while you may never fully forget what happened to you, and I don't think you're supposed to, I think that's part of who you are and part of the lessons that you're learning, you can be open to the new experiences coming your way. That, you know, underneath that is the messenger of fire. So that's, oh, and the star card. So that is like something that's going to get you really fired up and excited and passionate, and something that's going to feel like the star card has an element of healing, but it's also wish fulfillment and following something that makes you feel really excited again. So that will come for you, but it's a process. It's not something that you're meant to rush, and that's okay. Give yourself the time you need. So and maybe you're working on the acceptance part right now. Maybe the acceptance part is the hardest part of this. But I really like that the Three of Swords is in reverse as well. That shows me that you are making progress. You know, you're not just sitting in it and wallowing in it. You are putting one foot in front of the other. Because you're Taurus, that's what you do, right? That is what you do. You make progress. And sometimes you can't see the progress. Sometimes, again, when you're in it, you don't see I'm getting a weird feeling all over me right now. I'm incredibly hot for a star, like so hot. Like I feel like I've got a fever. I'm that hot. And then it's like these, it's like this weird, like weird tingly energy all over my body. There's some weird big energy in your reading, I want to say, Taurus. After something has run its course and died or been released, finished, surrendered, completed, or ended, there is a promise of new beginnings. Rebirth is assured, just as night gives way to dawn and the bat emerges from the darkness of a womb-like cave. Bat Spirit has come to remind you that this rebirth is a miraculous one, for the very best elements of what you had to give up in the death of the old are still present in this new amazing life forming now. There is a miracle and magic of rebirth in every aspect of your life, including the rebirth of your faith in the ability to establish new and healthy relationships. Again, one is not like the others. There's a relationship here that you haven't experienced before. It's not like the others, and it's coming in for you with this pearl energy, right? You may not be able to see it yet because the clamshell tells me it's a bit hidden, but there's one that's not like the others. Bat Spirit reminds you that at present you are in unknown territory and may feel as if you are lost. Definitely we're picking that up from that card if you remember. However, you are called to trust that your intuition will be a reliable guide as you give birth to something new and unfamiliar. Bat Spirit has listened in the darkness of night and has heard all your hopes and dreams, your fears and worries, and assures you that this new version of your dream, this move from darkness into light, from lost to found, and death to rebirth, comes to fruition with love at its core. Bat Spirit asks you to trust what seems to have died is actually shape-shifting into something even more meaningful. Remember, she's got a phoenix in her hands, and wondrous than before. Oh my God, those shivers again. I wish I could make you feel the energy that I was just feeling, like that I'm still feeling. If you feel like you are in the dark, know that come morning, all will be revealed and things will be in a new form that is right for you. Yeah, I'm feeling like this full body, almost like a, you know, like almost like a pins and needles sensation or like goosebumps or something. It's like a full body wave of just my body feeling like there's an energy around it. Very unusual for that to happen. It's only happened a few times in readings before, and I'm incredibly, like, my back is like, it's super sweaty. I wonder if I could show you. Like, oh yeah, you really want to see that, right? Like something is happening physically to me in your reading, and it's very, very powerful. So I want to say there's no doubt here that there's a powerful transformation happening in your reading, Taurus. So if you're in that fear and confusion phase of still dealing with whatever is going from your life, I want to say just keep putting one foot in front of the other and things will genuinely get better. You'll feel excited and you'll feel healed at some point, or like you're healing, and it's powerful healing energy. So big transformation, spiritual healing. Very, very strong reading, Taurus. I hope that was helpful to you. Please do take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I will see you in the new year. Have a good one. Bye bye.